Hey guys, what's going on today? Bojo here, and we are back with our Columbus Blue Jackets GM mode, getting ready to start the Eastern Conference Finals of the Year 6 playoffs up against the Montreal Canadiens. So, in the last series against the Toronto Maple Leafs, once again, goal scoring was not really prevalent among the top players on our team. We had to rely once again on the fourth liners to get some stuff done. And you know what? The past 3 games, actually the past 4 games for Sergei Bobrovsky played pretty well, as also with the defense. 5-1 in that game, which was a pretty good game. But then the games 5 and 6, Sergei Bobrovsky basically shut down the door, only getting 3 goals in those 2 games. But they were enough to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. And now we move on to the Eastern Conference Finals to play against the Montreal Canadiens, who beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, so we won't have a rematch with them. And Montreal actually did not have the greatest regular season, 39, 32, and 11. A lot of overtime losses in there, but not a lot of wins. So it'll be interesting to see what the Montreal Canadiens have in year number 6. All right, so here we go. First line, Max Pacioretty, Alex Galchenyuk, and Thomas Vanek. So that's actually a pretty good first line. It can compete with ours very well. Playmaker, sniper, power forward, definitely a very good first line. Their first line's probably been the line that's getting the most work for them done in these playoffs. So yeah, it's a good first line. Vanek has a good shooting category. Galchenyuk's probably a very good passer as well. And then Max Pacioretty, even though he's a power forward, you know he has some good offensive stats. Second line, Scott Hartnell, Michael Bournival, and I think Stephane Fournier, I believe, or something Fournier. But two power forwards and a two-way forward. So they're rocking the Toronto Maple Leafs second line again. So Bournival, we know what he's about. He's actually a pretty decent two-way forward, good defensively. It's a very defensive second line there. I know Bournival can probably put the puck in the net, but it's kind of a defensive second line if you ask me. Hartnell, yep, Hartnell down, and then Fournier, 81 power forward. But still, they're pretty good in the center again, and kind of weak wingers. Third line, they got Klingberg, Lars Eller, and Blake Como. So once again, they're very good in the center with Lars Eller, above average third liner, but not really good wingers. Klingberg and Como are probably good defensively, but that's basically it. I don't think their offensive categories are all that great. And then the fourth line, Dan Carcillo, Louis LeBlanc, and Matt Martin. So that's kind of a gritty fourth line there, especially with Carcillo and Martin. LeBlanc, once again, 81 playmaker. That's good for their fourth line. So another team that's deep in the center position, but very weak on the winger. So other than their first line of Pacioretty, Galchenyuk, and Vanek, nothing really too special about the Montreal Canadiens offense. And defense, on the other hand, Josh Georges and PK Subban, so a very good top 2 defensemen that they got there. Subban and Georges, very nice top pairing of defensemen there. Nathan Beaulieu and Alexei Emlin, 282s, and then Thomas Plekanec and Dalton Thrower. So they're definitely missing a defenseman in there. If they have Plekanec, who's an 81 playmaker, playing their top 6 defensive pair, so they're missing somebody on defense. We'll go check that out. They have Thrower in there as a 76, so they could be missing somebody else. So with those injuries there, we'll go check out who they're missing. And in net, they should have... No, they do not have Carey Price. There is no Carey Price in sight in the Montreal Canadiens. They have Zachary Fucale starting now, who's 84 overall. So Fucale might be their backup unless Carey Price got hurt as well. So we'll have to go check out the injuries that the Montreal Canadiens are dealing with. All right, so we might have lucked out against Montreal. Who knows? All right, so GM options. Let's go to injury report and let's go check out Montreal. So we are dealing with one injury on our team. Connor McDavid, he's done for the playoffs August 4th. He's not coming back with a herniated disc, so he'll be missed. And then Montreal, let's see who they're missing. It's just they're missing Carey Price. That is it. Carey Price pulled his groin. He will not be back until May 29th. So May 29th, it looks like, yeah, you know what? I could see maybe him coming back for a game 7 if it goes to that. But other than that, we might have lucked out and do not have to face Carey Price in this series against the Montreal Canadiens. So they're throwing the rookie Zachary Fucale in, who's still a decent goaltender, 84 overall, but we don't have to deal with probably like a 90-plus goaltender in that. So you know what? We might have lucked out in this series. Montreal, other than their first line, doesn't have anything special. Their defense is a little bit weak on the back end. So you know what? This is a perfect chance for the Columbus Blue Jackets offense to start breaking out finally with the first and second lines. Get them rolling. This is a perfect team to blow out. They're they're kind of injury riddled. We're only missing our second line center, but we have that covered pretty well. This is a team we can beat, boys. This is a team that's very beat. They're very beat in both with injuries and a team that can be beaten. We got home ice advantage against them. Let's do it. Game 1 against the West again of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Montreal Canadiens. Let's see if we can get it done, boys. So just don't take them lightly. That's what I'm just going to say. We know they're hurt, but don't take them lightly. So here we go. First period, 1-0. There you go. That's the way to start it off. Ryan Johansson, leave it to the captain to get it done. 19-5 on shots. That's the first period I want in this entire series from these guys. They waited till now to pull it out, but now they need to put consistent games of it together. So it's a good start. 19-5 on shots, 1-0 lead. Second period, 1-1. They tie it up. The former Columbus Blue Jacket, Blake Como, ties it up at 17-27 on shots. So we're still beating them in shots. Got a power play to start the third here. So come on, boys. Big third period now. Big third period. Power play still. All right, come on. 15 minutes to go. Come on, just keep pouring shots on, boys. Up, power play again. There you go. Patty Kane gets one past Fucali. And oh my God, Matt Martin on their fourth line ties the game up at 2 with 6 minutes to go. Power play going into overtime. Oh my God, power play again in overtime. And there we go. Tough time. Tyler Toffoli gets the goal in overtime. 45 shots put on the net of Zachary Fucali. He does stop 42 of them, but we do manage to get a 3-2 win in game number 1 over the Montreal Canadiens, and a very nicely done job there, finally getting a first goal. And finally, our first line showed up. All 3 of our first liners got goals. So that's the kind of series I want. Even though it was kind of close, letting their fourth line guy like Matt Martin score, I'll let it go. Zachary Fucali had an amazing game. He stopped 42 shots. He got an assist too. So Johansson from Toffoli, Kane from OEL and Hodgson, and then Toffoli from Savard and Johansson. So Tyler Toffoli and Ryan Johansson each with 2 points apiece, and we walk away with a game 1 win, 3-2. Nicely done. That's what we need to do in this series. Get off to those leads, hold it, and just need to score goals in this team. They're riddled. We can score goals in this team. They don't have their number 1 goalie in net. We can do it. So Montreal, once again, the Eastern Conference Finals where they lose their goalie for another year in a row. All right, here we go. Game number 2. Let's do it again. First period, 1-1. All right, Max Pacioretty starts out the scoring on a power play, but Danny Cristo once again gets his first goal of the playoffs, actually. First goal of the playoffs for Danny Cristo. 11-10 on shots, so a pretty even game to start out the game number 2. All right, come on, boys. Second period, all right, tied up 21-20 on shots. Pretty even game so far. Going to be decided in the third period once again of this game. All right, come on, boys. Somebody stepping up. Power play again. There you go. Patty Kane not on the power play, but shortly after that, 2-1 lead for Columbus. And there you go. Patty Kane gets another one. 3-1 lead for the Blue Jackets with 5 to go. And that'll seal it to, don't count out yet, 6 seconds. I don't think they'll score in 6 seconds. Vanek probably gets a goal with their goalie pulled, but that'll do it. 2-goal third period from Patrick Kane on Fucali once again. They beat us in shots 30-20, but the offense, the first line's kind of clicking together once again, and we go once again win game number 2 by a final score of 3-2. So Danny Cristo from Sprong and Hodgson, Kane from Sprong and Savard, and then Kane from Toffoli and Johansson. So Daniel Sprong with 2 assists, Patrick Kane with 2 goals, and that's how we'll do it. That's how we do it. Another 3-2 win over the Montreal Canadiens as we're going to the Bell Center. All right, with a 2-0 series lead over Montreal. This is a good start. We're in a very good position now. Very good position over the Montreal Canadiens. All right, so just keep at it, boys. Keep at it. I don't like the fact that we're going into like these tie games in the third period. So let's try to get a lead again, and let's hold it. Let's hold the lead. Not have to try to take the lead in the third. Let's hold the lead going into the third. All right, here we go. First period, 3-1. There you go. Good first period there. Daniel Sprong gets a power play goal to start it off. Thomas Vanek ties it up, and then Julius Honkin another power play goal from Patrick Kane. Good first period, 11 shots at 10 as Columbus takes a 3-1 lead going into the second period. So nicely done. First line coming. So I got my first line power play, and then top 4 defensemen clicking in there as well. So very good job there, boys. Good first. Second period, 5-1. There you go. Tyler Toffoli and David Savard get one as well. Got a 5-1 lead over the Montreal Canadiens going into the third. Bob has a 4-goal lead. I don't think he's going to give up 4 goals in the third. Well, maybe not. Thomas Vanek gets a very early one. Oh, but that erases that really quickly. Gives us a 4-goal lead once again. Dana Terrell gets number 6 for the game. And there we go. Light him up. Danny Cristo gets another one. They're not even pulling Fucale. Not even going to pull him. Danny Cristo gets his second of the playoffs. And Columbus absolutely destroys Montreal in game number 3 by a final score of 7-2. Good lord. Good lord. Three goal first. Let me go to goals. 3-goal first period, 2 goals in the second, and then 2 goals in the third. That's what I'm talking about. Goals from pretty much everywhere, and 7-2 win with 38 shots on the net. That's what I'm talking about. As Columbus takes a stranglehold on the series, going up 3-0 in the series. So Sprong from Honka and Kane. Honka from Toffoli, Kane from Johansson and Dubes, Toffoli from Johansson and Kane, Savard from Honka and Kane, Terrell from Carroll, and then Cristo from Jenner. So a nice little game there from our team. Let's see the point totals here. Patrick Kane with a 4-point night, Honka with a 3-point night, Johansson and Toffoli each had 2 points, and then a bunch of guys with 1 point apiece for them. So very good job for our team there. Nicely done. And that's the kind of game we need there. Put up 7 goals in this team. You know what, Montreal is kind of just like, I don't know. They really could use a guy like Carey Price right about now. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. If they come back in this series and push Game 7, that might be their only motivation at this point, is going to be push it to a Game 7 so they can have Carey Price in the net for that game. So it's going to be they could possibly do it, but you know what? The way we're playing against these guys, I don't really see that happening. Don't want to jinx it, but we have a 3-0 lead over them going back home for at least 2 more games, for at least 1 more game. All right, so at least 2 more games. So game number 4 here in the Bell Center. Columbus has a 3-0 series lead, can sweep out the Eastern Conference Finals like we did with the Detroit Red Wings a while ago. Let's see if we can do it again. We're playing pretty well so far this series. Let's continue it, boys. Let's end this series right now tonight. Here we go. First period, 2-0. There you go. Oh, Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Adam Tambellini. Leave it to my top 4 defensemen and my 4th line that has just been doing an amazing job all playoff long. So leave it to Tambellini and probably Jenner and Carroll to get it done there on the 4th, and got a 2-0 lead after the first period. Once again, nice job, boys. Second period, 2-1. All right, power play goal first. Scotty Hartnell. Hartnell down, gets a goal, 20-19 on shots. So it's still only a 1-goal game here going into the third, boys. So come on, lock it down defensively, boys. Power play, longest power play. That would have been nice. All right, come on, hold it down. 10 minutes. Okay, OEL. OEL, there you go. Power play goal for Julius Honka, and that should seal the deal. There we go. Complete a 4-game sweep of the Montreal Canadiens in the Eastern Conference Finals. Man, oh man, are Montreal Canadian fans probably crying in their seats right now, probably saying like, oh, this would have been a completely different series if Carey Price was in the net. But you know what? Those injuries do happen, and Carey Price once again gets injured for the Montreal Canadiens going into the Eastern Conference Final. They didn't have Tokarski. They relied on Fucale this time, and he couldn't even get it done as they get swept in 4 games. So Oliver Ekman-Larsson from Austin Carroll, Tambellini from Sprong and Honka, and then Honka from Toffoli and Jenner. So look at my 4th line clicking in for some points there, and Honka with a 2-point game. All 3 of my 4th liners had a point once again. Carroll with an assist, Tambellini with a goal, and Jenner with an assist. So way to go, boys. There you go. That's the kind of series I want to see from this team. First 2 games, yeah, you let up 2 goals, but still, it was you had the goal scoring to back it up for you. But what a quick series. Done in 4 games to the Montreal Canadiens. Sweep out the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what I'm talking about. And I believe the Springfield Falcons, the 61-11. And 4 Springfield Falcons are doing really good. So where are they at right now? So that's the first round that they won, right? Yeah, they won Game 7, and then they took on Bridgeport, and they won that series. And now they have this series against the Ice Caps, which they just won. So they're in the Calder Cup Finals against the Utica Comets, I believe. Let me see. Playoffs. Yep, Utica against Springfield. So they're in the Calder Cup Finals for them. And we got a lot of time to kill here before our next series. It looks like the Edmonton Oilers and the Winnipeg Jets right now are tied at 2 games apiece. So we got at least a couple games here before we can see who we're going to play. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, let's see. Okay, so it's 1-1 in that series. All right, any day here. All right, after this game probably. And it's going to be, who's going to be? Do they win that game? Yep, they won 4-2. It's going to be the Edmonton Oilers going up against the Columbus Blue Jackets in the Year 5 Stanley Cup Final. So look at that. They won in overtime too. Nick Foligno got themselves a goal, 5-4. So a couple former Columbus Blue Jackets are on the Edmonton Oilers team. So the young gun Edmonton Oilers now are ready to get it done here in the Stanley Cup Finals. So this should be a very interesting series game against Edmonton. All right, so let's go check out the stats of that fairly quick series against the Montreal Canadiens. Swept them out in 4 games. Offense came to play that series, no doubt they did. Solid goaltending too from Bobrovsky as well. Didn't give up more than 2 goals a game, which was very good. All right, so point totals. Patrick Kane started to show himself up again. He's starting to heat up once again. 14 points in 17 games. He's starting to heat it up when it matters the most, and that's what I like to see going into the final. So 14 points in 17 games for him. Sprong only missed the 1 game, but still has 12 points in 16 games. Toffoli with 11 and 17. Johansson with 11 as well. So my first line is starting to click together a little bit more. Austin Carroll still putting up points. 9 points in 17 games for a guy on the 4th line. Absolutely amazing. Tambellini with 7. Jenner with 6. That's my 4th line with the 6, I think the 5th, 6th, and 7th best point totals on the team right now. Hodgson with 5, Dubes with 4, McDavid, obviously he's gone. Christo with a 3, Dan Terrell with 3, for Fabry with 2. I believe he's sitting, right? Is he? I don't know. I can't forget. Goodobin and Reichel, still no points for those guys. Okay, and then defensemen we have. Julius Honka stepped his game up in that series big time. Honka got a lot of points, so he jumps up to 8 points. OEL with 8, Savard with 4, Bryson Martin with 3, DeKaiser with 2, Erickson with 2, and Murray with 1. And plus minuses, all my defense are plus players. OEL got that plus 11 game strong. And then goaltenders, Sergei Bobrovsky, a very solid series once again. GAA went up a little bit, but still 1.44, 12, 4, and 1 with a save percentage of 95. It's a pretty scary save percentage that Bobrovsky is running right now. Still 3 shutouts on the year. So it's going to be an interesting Stanley Cup Finals now, going up against the Edmonton Oilers, who beat the Winnipeg Jets in, I believe, 6 games. Indeed, they won those next 2. So the number 2 Edmonton Oilers up against the number 2 Columbus Blue Jackets, and we barely had a better record than them. Just barely. One better win than them. So we are going to have home ice advantage in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Edmonton Oilers. So this should be a very interesting Stanley Cup matchup. There are a couple former Columbus Blue Jackets on the Edmonton Oilers team. Remember, because we made the trades with them for Evander Kane for Eberle. So Evander Kane is probably still on that Edmonton Oilers team. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be a very interesting series. So the Columbus Blue Jackets advance from last year. They get past the Eastern Conference Finals, get back to the Stanley Cup Finals. But now the Edmonton Oilers are the only team that stands in the way of our second Stanley Cup in 3 years, and it'll be our second Stanley Cup in 6 years. So Stanley Cup Finals of Year 6 are coming up next. Edmonton versus Columbus. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe as always. And Edmonton versus Columbus coming up next.